What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now, Back to the Past. I'm Alex, and in this video, I wanted to show off and talk about some of the games that I have recently purchased to add to my gaming background. I love to go to a specific chain. It's actually called Entertain Mart, and I found some good things there. I found some good things actually a few months ago, and I went back. I spent a little over $110, and I think I got some pretty cool ones. Not the oldest things. Well, there are actually some old games here, but I want to go over all of them, and really the purpose of this video is to, number one, kind of show my collection growing, but number two, you can probably expect a video on each and every one of these eventually. I have many games in the pipeline, let's say, that I need to get to, and some of them are franchises actually that I'm starting to build from and have more games here. So I've done this before. I think I did a video where I got like 12 or 15 games, something actually kind of outrageous. This one is a lot smaller. It is actually, I believe, only five things in all. One of them was actually quite expensive that we'll go through as this video goes on. So I want to start maybe with some of the least spectacular, and we'll kind of work our way down. And this is not necessarily the oldest thing in the world, but let's start with Tomb Raider. Now, the funny thing about this game is, and I've said this before, I swear to God, I've had many games in my life. In fact, I just realized, I know for a fact, considering my love of Sly Cooper, I know I had Sly, at least Sly 2 and 3 on PS2. My parents did this great thing where they kind of went over a weekend. They just threw away a lot of my games from when I was a youth. I think I maybe mentioned before, even like my Rock Band stuff of my instruments. They threw away some things that were actually quite expensive and will take me a little while to recuperate. But you know what? I love them all the same. It's no big deal. Tomb Raider, I know I've played, and I know I owned it. So I think what happened here, I don't know if it's my parents getting rid of it. I want to say I gave it to my sister, because what I remember kind of happening, and this game is not all that old. Again, maybe it's like 10, 11 years old. I remember, I think it's 2013, so maybe 10 years old. I remember my sister playing it. So maybe I never owned it, and I kind of just converted that in my brain. But I'm very happy to have it. Gotta get these games. Obviously, you got the Tomb Raider Remastered Collection coming out in February. So as we get closer and closer to the next Tomb Raider game, which maybe comes out next year, maybe comes out the year after, I'm going to want to go back not only to this trilogy, but also even older, I'd say, Tomb Raider games. It does have the manual, thank God. And I know I mentioned this, and this is actually going to come up as I show some of the other games. People had brought this up in the last video. You're more than welcome to leave it in the comments. Some of these have some really hard to get, like whatever these are, marks or like stickers. I know people mentioned in the last video how to get these things off, some sort of liquid, I think, device that you pour on it, but wanted to start there. So Tomb Raider 2013, now part of my collection. Next one, this one I found pretty interesting. So, you know, I'm scrolling through, it's in person, right? They actually do have an online website, but, you know, I'm there and I actually looked through even PS4 games, because I've sold my Gravity Rush 2 copy back in the day. I really want Gravity Rush 2 physically again. So, you know, I'm looking through PS4, goes into PS3, and then you got the Xboxes of the world, and I stumble upon Star Ocean. So, number one, oh my dear, this over here, oh my God, it's terrible. And I also have a little marking down there. But number one, let me just say, I love this cover. Looks incredible. I really like it. Now, I gotta be honest, considering I never played a Star Ocean game in my life, I don't know if this is a good game. I don't know if this is a bad game. I did look up once, actually a few weeks ago, it wasn't all that long ago. I looked up like a Star Ocean ranking of what people thought were like the best and worst. The one that's getting remade, I think commonly is referred as like one of, if not the best Star Ocean game. So I can't pretend to know if this game is good or bad. In fact, I haven't looked it up, but I thought, hey, because of Star Ocean getting remade, I think early November, and I plan on getting it. It looks phenomenal. I was scrolling through, you know, my eyes, you're looking at the S's. It couldn't have been Sly Cooper, because that would have been the PS2, but, you know, I'm looking, I see Star Ocean. They only had one copy, one individual, you know, sold it to them, and they're selling it to me. And I thought, ooh, considering, again, the lining up of the new game coming out, I thought this would be really cool. So when I do go back and play, because I do want to play the Star Ocean franchise, that is for sure. Now I got at least one of them physically. Okay, I want to save, I'm going through my list. Like, I want to save those two. Okay, let's go through this. So this is very timely. As soon as I saw this, I said, oh my God, I got to get it. And this is Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. I never owned it. I think I can say that quite confidently. I did play it. I have played this game before. Don't know how. I guess I must have played it at a friend's house, but 15-year anniversary. I'm actually planning, I try to plan the videos for this channel roughly 2 or so months. I don't record them 2 or so months before, but I actually have planned, I think maybe all my videos until Christmas. I already have them all kind of written down. Got to play them, got to kind of research them, things like that. Prince of Persia is on that list, and it'll be a December video where I think we're already past the 15-year anniversary of it, or we definitely will be by December, but I wanted to do it for the 15-year anniversary, so I just wanted to make a Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time video in 2023 just to kind of line it up. So again, once I saw this, I was like, ooh, I already wrote it down. I already was planning on playing this game. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, I need to get that game. Next up, and I got quite a few things to say about this. So Final Fantasy X. I've never played it. I never played 10-2. I never played many Final Fantasy games. That's actually where I want to go with this. So, actually, number one, let me just say this. This booklet, this is thick. This is a thick booklet, so I'm very glad we have that. Okay, Final Fantasy with this channel, right? And I have such a long list again of games that I'm going to be playing and covering that I've never played before. Some games I have played. I have such a long list also in my mind, I guess, of games that I want to get to. I mean, this channel could honestly go on literally forever because it's such a long list, and games I want to replay. I don't think there's a franchise, maybe other than Sly, because I do want to play all the Sly games and make videos on this channel. Besides Sly, I think Final Fantasy is like the next franchise that I just cannot, and I don't have time for it. It's why I've kind of been delaying it, but that's the franchise that I want to cover, play, I guess actually play first, play, and then make videos on this channel. I've talked about it before. I think I actually showed you guys in the last video. I have all the Lightning games now, right? I got all the 13 games, either for, or I think maybe my birthday and over the summer. I got all those. So like those, obviously 10. You hear so many things, not only about 7, which I'm thinking about playing the original 7, but you hear a lot of things about like 8 and 9. So there's just, obviously there's a lot of them. You can think about how many numbered Final Fantasy, and then there's even more than just the numbered ones. So I really want to get to these games. We have 10-2. Actually, my wife already had 10-2. I took pictures of it, so I was asking. I was like, Christy, do we have 10-2 or do we have 10? So we got 10. We already have 10-2. We are set. And I don't know when I'm going to go through these, but I'm just happy I have it. Okay. Final 2. This one maybe makes me the most happy. The last one is maybe the most surprising that I found, but this one, I actually have talked about this, maybe in a tweet, but I've mentioned this in videos before as well. Oh my God, Split Second. Come on. Who remembers this gem? So I've said it before, with racing games like this. I think of MotorStorm. I think of Split Second. I think of Driver San Francisco. These are actually some of my, it's not Forza. It's not Gran Turismo. It is Split Second MotorStorm I think is my favorite. Like when I got the PS3, I got the PS3 with the MotorStorm bundle. So that was one of the first racing games, if not the first racing games I've ever played. I really love MotorStorm Apocalypse, but I remember playing this one I rented. I had to because I don't think I ever owned it, but I know for a fact I played this game. And again, Split Second, Driver San Francisco, like those games kind of stand out, but Split Second maybe more than at least most. I remembered, like, is it a movie? Is it a TV show? It is a dynamic new TV show, and this is where it's like those kind of quick time events or like random things will happen when you're racing because they're trying to do like again, a dynamic TV show. This game is so, I think this was Disney. Yeah, it is Disney right there. I mean, oh my God, it's so good. So I've talked about this. I actually wrote this game down as a game that if I ever saw, like, I need to pick it up. I have like a master list of like 30, 40, 50 games on it. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I think there's actually 2 copies of it at the store too. So I got one of them. I was like, oh yes, this game, it's one of my favorites. It really, really is. Okay. I gotta come clean with this game. So let's show it first. Now, the cover is incredible. And I gotta be honest, okay? This was the most expensive by a lot. This was double the price of the next expensive one of my list. So this was pretty high up there. However, I gotta say, most times when you go to these stores, I'd say it's like 50-50 actually. Sometimes you can get a better deal online. Sometimes you get a better deal at these stores. Sometimes I think these stores, for whatever reason, they don't do their research. They actually undersell it, which is good for us, the consumer. This is actually one of those examples. This game is worth more money. I think if you go on like the eBays of the world, it's worth more money there than they actually were selling it for at the store. So that immediately I was like, okay, I kind of have to get it. Also, the cover just looks so good. Like, what are you going to do? Like, when you see this, and when you see TMNT, there's not that many TMNT games out there. Some of them are good. Some of them are very bad. And here's the thing, okay? I thought I had heard of this game. Now, there's that PS2 era TMNT game that I think is oftentimes regarded as one of the better ones. I got to be real. I kind of thought this game was that game. So what I found out when I went home from buying this, I'm still going to play it, and I want to make a video on it because I want to give it a chance. But I got to say, when I went home, I looked up some of the stuff on this game, and specifically the reviews. This game got like a 50 or 5 out of 10, 50 out of 100 on Metacritic. Now, look, reviews aren't everything, but when the average is like a 5 or 5.2 out of 10, game's probably not very good, but at the same time, you got to give it a try, or I'm going to give it a try, and I'm glad I have it. I think the cover honestly speaks for itself, and maybe it's the start, because this is the only TMNT game I own physically at this point. This is probably the start of more TMNT games being in my collection. So there you go. I think it's a wide range. You got I'm sorry. I'm not a console warrior. I'm not a fanboy, but these do all lean PlayStation. You got 2 PS2 and you got 4 PS3. So no X. I saw some Xbox ones. I saw Halos. I don't actually own physically any of the Halo games. Again, I don't know what happened to them because I definitely owned at least the first, if not also the second game. Those games have disappeared forever. I saw those and they were just again, that's where they priced actually more. You can get the Halo games physically a lot cheaper online than you can at that store, but not to be reflective of like where I stand in the console wars or anything like that. So there you go. I'll probably be making videos on all these games at some point in my life. You just have to stay subscribed and stay tuned to the channel. Let me know what you think. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.